Let me give you a few tips of how can you have a good posture, how should you maintain the right structure of your body while you're in action. So, number one, while speaking, stand tall, keep your feet together. So, like I'm speaking, stand tall. When I said stand tall is you use all your height. Like, don't stand like this, you stand like this. You're using all the height that you've got. I'm 5.5. I have to use all the height that I've got, otherwise I would look short. So, while speaking, stand tall, keep your feet together. Because if you keep your feet, if you keep it distanced, what's going to happen is that obviously you're going to look short, but if you keep it closer, you're going to look taller. Okay? That is how you can use your height. Now, if you're 6 feet tall, then you might want to ask me, should I keep my legs at a distance? Should I keep my legs close? Because I already have a lot of height. Now, answer to that question would be this. Understand. Okay, you can have distance between your legs, no problem. Anybody can have it. The only thing is, when you have distance, don't keep it when you're on stage giving presentation or standing for an interview, standing in a meeting. What you need to do is you cannot have a lot of distance. It makes you look very bad, and it is not acceptable. Does not look good, presentable at all. So don't have a lot of distance between 2 feet. Okay, keep it like this. This much. I think that's it. More than that, it doesn't look good. So it is. My math is bad, but it's just going to be, I think, around 1.5 to 2 feet. That should be the distance. All right. Don't go beyond than that, because then it looks very bad. It looks that you are in the gym and not really in the office. Now, next is understand. The way you sit exudes an air of optimism or despondency, or be indicative of a sense of failure or of inattentiveness. You see, when you sit, basically what this means is when you sit, it talks again a lot about you. You say like this. You're sitting like, you see, that is not right. You sit straight. Okay, example, they say that don't use mobile phone when you are in a meeting or when you're sitting for an interview, because waiting for the interview, because you like this, you see closed. They say read a newspaper. You read a newspaper, you're like, oh my God, look at your stance, it's open. Okay, and this, you look open and good and high spirited and confident. Right? So, when you sit, make sure again that you take care of these things and you don't slouch and you sit straight. Right? So that, don't sit so straight that it looks odd, but then you understand what I'm saying. Right? Keep it a good, good straight back. You can rest on something if you have to, but then make sure that your body language just says what you wanted to say and not says otherwise. Right? Even if you're sad, you're not feeling great, no problem. You at least can take care of your body language. You at least can sit perfectly so that the others don't get to know, and they don't have to know it, right? Okay, let me tell you something. If you have noticed ever, when you sit or stand, not erect, okay? You slouch and you sit like this, slouch. What happens? You cannot talk with great confidence, with oozing confidence. Why is that? Because of what? See, there's a science to it. Okay, you said like, okay, you do it with me. Okay, sit like this, like this, and or you stand like this, and then you talk with great confidence. Oh, I am this. I know I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. No, it doesn't work. But if you stand or sit straight, erect, and you talk about what you want to do in life in an interview, they don't believe it, because there will be confidence that will be seen. Why is that happening? It is a basic science. You must understand this, my friends. If you are not standing straight, meaning it is obstructing the flow of your breathing. If I stand like this, I am not breathing well. If I'm not breathing well, my body is not getting all the oxygen that I need. Yes, the oxygen. Now, if the body doesn't get all the oxygen that the body needs, then what's going to happen is you are not going to get the energy, because oxygen is required for you to have all the energy. right? So it's the case when you're jogging. So if you go and jog, if you run, if you run like this, it is not right. It is not right. You run like this. But if you run straight, that is why they say, look at all the runners or all the sprinters or all the ones who participate in marathon. They open chested and they run. Why? It's because they can breathe. Now, when they do that, what happens is they can breathe easily, which is why they will not be tired. But if you start jogging like this, I see some people doing this. Now, what happens is you're not breathing properly. Obviously, you're going to get tired. So you need to remember this thing, right? Now, remember that. So you need to use your hand and its placement properly. What do I mean by that? So what you say has to be complemented by your body language. So when you say we need to do this by tomorrow, so when I said this, I pointed out at something, and I said tomorrow, which means this is today and this is tomorrow. So we need to do this by tomorrow. We need to move ahead. Move ahead. So meaning here I am, and we need to, from here you need to go there. You need to move ahead. We'll do it day after. You see, people do that. Next time, day after, tomorrow, right? So you need to use body language as a tool along with your verbal use of communication. Now, next one is very interesting. It is called the gestures. What are gestures? As we all know it, and you can see it in the figure, in the picture there. It's like, I won't listen bad, I won't see bad, I won't talk bad. These are gestures, and a lot of gestures are universal, if you understand. Okay, we call them Gandhiji's three monkeys, right? These three gestures. So they are gestures. A lot of them are universal. They mean the same thing, everywhere, more or less. So what are gestures? Gestures are these hand movements or that we use to convey something. So when I say this means, in a lot of countries, a lot of cultures, this means best of luck, good job, well done, or it's all good, right? Sometimes they do not accompany oral delivery. What do I mean by that? Gestures, sometimes they do not accompany oral delivery. Gestures, sometimes they do not accompany oral delivery. So you might not use the words, and you might just say something by gesture. So if somebody asks you, how was the food? You say, how am I looking? How is this dress? Okay, and how are you doing? How are the exams? Did you like it? So these are the gestures. Okay, now these are universal. Sometimes you don't want to say anything, you just want to do this. That's the gesture of submission. Sometimes you just do this, you don't say hi, right? It's a gesture. Sometimes you don't say bye, you just do this. It's a gesture. These are all gestures, guys. Sometimes we do not use them with words. We don't accompany them with words. But sometimes, or a lot of times, we do. So, how's food? Oh, food was good. How am I looking? Oh, you're looking very pretty. Okay. How are your exams? Very good. Okay. Best of luck. And then we say, I am going to reach the top of the world. So this time, this time, what we did is we accompanied gestures with words. So first point was, we do not always, use gestures with words. We just do. We just do these things, and sometimes we do accompany, in fact a lot of times we do accompany gestures with words. Now, be wary of negative gestures, they can communicate bad of you. So I'll tell you an incident. Some time back I saw a guy who was in a meeting, and he somehow had disagreement with his manager. And what he did was, he said something, he said, you see, this is not right. He said, go away. That, although he didn't really mean that, but what happened is, that was a negative impression, and the manager is not going to like it. And I saw that, and he didn't like it. And he would feel bad, plus there are chances that they will never be able to have a good relationship again. It was kind of disrespect. So you do this, you do this, be very careful, because if you're not careful, what's going to happen is sometimes they can backfire. And although your intention is not to hurt someone, not to do that, but then the point is, if you don't do it, it might just not be the right. Sorry, your intention is not to hurt someone, and you did it inadvertently, meaning you had no intention to do it, you just did it and you didn't realize it, and you mean no harm doing that gesture, but then you need to curb it, you need to control it, because you use this and then somebody will get upset and then they will use all they can. So it is very, very important that you be very, very careful of the gestures that you use, right? Very, very important. Now, there's something called emblems. You can see, emblems are limited by both time and culture. So when I say limited by both time and culture, so let's say 10 years back, this meant the same thing and this means the same thing now. And in America, I'm sure this would mean the same thing what it means in India, which is submission, which is respect, right? Which somebody is, or probably somebody is pleading something. It means the same thing. It's limited both by time and by culture. Now this I think we do a lot in India and a few other countries and cultures as well. This again, you can understand, is good. And this again is, you see a lot of pictures being posted everywhere on Facebook, on Twitter, and then they have this common gesture. This stands for victory, right? So these are common. In America, somebody may do this. In India, also somebody may do this. It's all the same. So they are called emblems. Palm position. Now there are two palm positions. Open palm in inward position, open palm facing outward or downward. Now this and this. Number one is this. So they say that when you have open palm, your discussion seems to be more open, and you seem more receptive, and you appeal to others a lot. Okay, so whenever you want to give an example, if you're working and you become a leader, and you work in a manager's position and you want to give a presentation, make sure that your hands are like this, and you have an open palm in the upward position. This adds this. It shows mannerism and it looks good, right? But let's say open palm facing outward and downward. This one, outward and downward. This one. This now it is also open, but then this means a lot. This means a signal of restraint. You want to stop something. So no, wait. No, I don't like this. You see this and this. So much of a difference. Both are open palms, but they convey a lot. You say this, you're being open. You want people to be open. You want receptive environment, and this is like, okay, no, wait, close. No, I don't want this, right? So these seem very small difference, but then they are two strikingly opposite things. Handshake. This is one very important aspect of body language. A lot of people, when they handshake, they do not understand the technicalities of it. As a result, it might end up putting the wrong impression about you in the mind of the other person. So, what's a handshake? How is it like? Handshake, obviously, as we all know, it's this. But let me tell you something in depth about handshake. Number one is dominance. Now, whenever there is a handshake and whoever's hand is up, like this one is up here, okay, having two handshakes. Whoever's hand is up, that shows a dominant handshake. So, if you're shaking hands with someone, you're doing this and your hand is up, that shows dominance. Example, if president of two countries are meeting, let's say a president of America is meeting and a president of a very small country is meeting, obviously the president of America will have a dominant handshake and his hand is going to be up. It will never be down, it will be up always, because it shows dominance and power. Submission. Submission is when your hands, okay, dominant is when your hands are up. Submission is when your hands are down. Or it's the palm is up, but this portion is down. The front portion of your hand is down. So it's like this. So your hand. So if this is the dominant, your hand is like this. Okay, like this. This one. Your hands down. And third one is equality. When they shake hands, both are at the equal. So it's all the same same pumps, same level of energy when they shake hands, and it's equal. Nobody's trying to dominate someone, nobody's trying to be submissive. This will happen when two friends meet or two CEOs of big companies meet. It's going to be equal, right? And then there are these hybrid handshakes that we call it, which is, one would be the glove handshake, which is like, you probably somebody shaking hands with me and I use both my hands like a glove and cover his hand. That is called glove handshake, and in some cultures that is done. And then we have knuckle crunch or handshake. A lot of times you see if people go to gym, okay, a little exaggerated a statement, but still, when people go to gym and they are muscular, and when they shake hands, oh my god, they like crush your knuckle, very firm, which is not right. Again, not that everybody goes to gym. If you go to gym, I don't go to gym, I just jog. So you need to make sure that you're not doing this knuckle cruncher handshake. I'm not crushing my hand, I'm like, ow! You're not doing that. Okay, next is fingertip clasp, which is bad. This one is bad. You know what people do? Sometimes they just shake hands like this, just this portion. They'll just give you that is not right. That shows, if you do that, if you do fingertip clasp, what's going to happen is it will show the other person that you're not interested. Or if you have a deal, you've signed a business deal and you do this, they might think that the deal isn't going to happen because they don't see the conviction in your handshake. Alright? Facial expression. Now, what is a facial expression? Of all the parts of the body, face is the most expressive. If you are not well, your face will say it. You can't hide it. If you are tense and nervous, it is very difficult to hide it. Your face will say it all. So, what does your face talk about you? Like a smile would convey friendliness. Obviously, when you go and smile, someone, hi, good morning. Obviously, that shows that you smile and you're genuine and you want to convey good vibes. It conveys friendliness. A frown conveys discontent. A frown is like this, like this. It shows discontent, and like when you frown, you're not quite happy about what's happening, or you haven't quite understood something. Okay, so raising the eyebrows, it shows what? It shows disbelief. So like, I don't believe. You're like, what? No, this shows disbelief. It shows that you kind of not very convinced with the idea, and you do not believe the person that much. If somebody has said something, not the person, but the idea that it just conveyed. Okay. Next is tightening the jaw muscles. It shows what? It shows aggression. We all know it. So some people tighten the jaw muscles when they're very angry, but they don't want to hit the other person. So what they do is, they tighten the jaw muscles, but then that shows that they're aggressive. A smiling, soft expression while explaining intricate problems makes the job of the speaker very easy. So, example, you're talking about something which is intricate, which is very complex.